Good afternoon, folks. For those who don't know me, my name is Mike Clark. Up until about 2 months ago, I was a 3-term mayor of the town of Farmington. And as far as my professional background, I've worked for United Technologies Corporation for 8 years. I'm also a professor of criminal justice at the University of New Haven. And prior to that, for 22 years, my true profession, I was an FBI special agent both here in Connecticut and also in New York City. When I retired in 2004 from the FBI, I immediately went to work for UTC and immediately ran for office as a Republican, and I proudly served the town of Farmington. And I'll talk a little bit more about my achievements in Farmington as we go along. When you come out to groups like this, you're often asked one of the questions, why are you running? And almost every day I'm reminded in one way or manner of why I'm running. This morning when I woke up, the headline was, President Obama tells Iran he's not bluffing. Think back to when Ronald Reagan was elected, and we were in the middle of an Iranian hostage situation. Did Ronald Reagan have to tell anyone that he was bluffing? And did those hostages come right out within hours of him taking the oath of office? So when you think about some of the reasons, why are you running? You look right there at what this president has done to this nation and what a Democratic Senate has done, and for 2 years he had a House as well. And we are facing a crossroads in 2012. We're looking at a crossroads, and how many of you, just like me, are sick of $15 trillion budgets, or deficits, I should say? Or how many of you are tired of 4 out of every $10 spent being borrowed? It's just unconscionable what's happened here, and if we don't make a change in 2012, it's going to be too late. We're going to be too far down the road, and in 2014, when Obamacare kicks in, we are looking at an absolute nightmare, and also a fiscal nightmare on top of the nightmare we already are living. So we have tremendous, tremendous decisions to make. And I'm going to steal one of Brian Hill's thoughts here, where he mentioned something that's really important. And it's, are we sending the right candidates out in these races? And what I bring to the table is a little bit different than what many others do. I've had 35 years of work experience. I've had a proud career of integrity and honor in fighting terrorism and corruption with the FBI. I've worked for United Technologies Corporation, our largest employer in this state, and I've been to China and India and to Indonesia, and I see where our jobs are. They're over there in Asia instead of here. Many times the reason is there's just too much uncertainty for government. Ask yourself this question if you're a UTC vice president or president and want to move a business here. Do any of you in this room have any idea what our tax policy will be next January? No one has any idea. And if Obama's elected, it's a nightmare. That's the idea that we're going to see. So as we go forward, as we're making the big decisions on May 18th at the convention that's coming up and possibly the primary to follow, we have to find people who are electable. And I've proven in my time in Farmington that I am electable. I can hold the Republican fiscal base as well as gather the support of those who are unaffiliated, independent, or conservative Democrats. And that is key that we find, because in this district, 45% of the people are independent voters. 45%. And you have to win those votes to win this election. Politics is personal relationships, and it's numbers. And there's no shying away from those numbers. They are facts. So I'm going to close with just a little talk about what I did in Farmington during my tenure there. And Farmington is demographically very similar to the 5th Congressional District. We have the lowest mill rate in our region. We've had job growth every year, grand list growth every year. One of my proudest accomplishments, I paid off 20% of our debt. We had $72 million in debt. it's now 56 million and dropping as we speak. And what I'm most proud of, again, you talk about the news, you see Connecticut and the United States of America with a bond rating that's less than AAA. That's an embarrassment. Farmington's bond rating was upgraded 2 years ago to AAA status. And so that's the legacy I've left the taxpayers and citizens of Farmington. And that's the core principle that I want to bring to Washington, to serve the 5th District, to serve you, and to serve this great state. So again, as you start to make those decisions in May, make sure you're looking at drill down a little bit on everyone's resume. Because a lot of people can talk the talk. You've got to be able to walk the walk. And I have walked that walk as a good, conservative, fiscally conservative Republican. So thank you all for your attention, and thank you for being here this afternoon.